Yo! What's going on, everybody? You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. We are officially less than a month away from New York Knicks basketball somewhat being back as the NBA preseason gets kicked off on October 6th. The regular season gets kicked off on October 22nd against the Boston Celtics. We're 6 weeks away from opening night. We're less than a month away from preseason, which means New York Knicks Now watch parties are right around the corner. And you know what, Sperry? The Knicks? Knicks in 5. Let's go, baby. What up, everybody? Appreciate all 120 people already in the building. I was like, you know what? We haven't gone live on Knicks Now in a while. I was wondering if people would even tune in today. And the fact we already got 120 people in the building before the show even starts, y'all are real ones. The way you can help me out today, though, is by hitting the thumbs up icon and commenting real one down below. I need everyone watching to comment real one in the chat right now. We're going to give shout-outs to everybody in the building. My man, Knicks Galaxy. Yes, sir. Shout out to CPJ. Boo, boo, boo. CPJ, my guy. What's good, Brody? How is the Florida summer going for my guy CPJ? I'm glad the ball showed up. There was a lot of good stuff happening when I was holding that ball, man. I love that ball. I'm glad it got into the hands of somebody that we got a lot of love for. Knicks Galaxy, CPJ, Carl. What up, Carl P? My man. Will McConaughey, Justin, Levi's the best, Jermaine Mo Brown, football, James Bates, excuse me. I can't read. James Bates, Kirk Nelson, Tyree Delks. He says rainy dead. Jet Life, For Life. What up? Poot in the building. 20 toes. Here we go. Levi's the best. Appreciate everybody for being in the building. 146 people are watching. If you haven't yet, smash that thumbs up icon. Let's get to 100 likes. The best and easiest and freest way to support this channel is by hitting that thumbs up icon. The more likes we get on the video, the better the video is going to do. The better the video does, the more we could do this. The more during football season, as you guys know here at Chat Sports, it's hectic. They're giving us some studio time to talk some Knicks, baby. It's because New York Knicks Now real ones are always showing up and showing out. He says, appreciate the basketball. Nah, appreciate you, bro. You're always showing love. You're always being a real one, and you're keeping it real in the chat. And that's all I ask. Show up, show out, support. And my guy, you do all of that. We're locked in, bro. Do you know what's up? Sabster Master, real one in the chat. Tyree says, can't wait till our guys hit the court. With the way that the New York Giants season is already off for the first time in my life, I feel as if I am more excited about a New York Knicks basketball season being kicked off in October than New York Giants football. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel that way. I can't wait to go watch Jalen Brunson play basketball with Mikal Bridges and Dante DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart, and OG Anunoby, and Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson, and the Big Sneeze, and Miles McBride, Tyler Kolek, all these dudes. This team is loaded, and I cannot wait for them to start. We got producer Smitty in the building today, the heartbeat of the Boston Celtics fandom here at Chat Sports, and he's going to have to hear all this propaganda that we got going today. And he finally admitted it today in the Chat Sports studios. The quote was, and I don't want to misquote you, Smitty, so I will just do my best to remember it. It was,
sure,
we need Porzingis versus you guys. I don't know if you spoke out of terms. You didn't mean what you said, but you did say that if I do remember correctly.
Okay, those were the words that I spoke, but
you didn't mean them.
The way that you think I meant them was not the way that I meant them.
Oh, please tell us.
I said, I need Porzingis to be available for this Knicks series, just so we can absolutely bury NYK. Absolutely bury them. We don't need him. We don't need him. It'd be a luxury to have him. It'd be a luxury to have. But I'm happy to be here with Knicks Nation.
Let's say, all goes well, because we all want Knicks Celtics in the conference
100%. I've been wanting that. I wanted it last season.
We want to go through the best.
Yep.
That's what we do, real New Yorkers. You know that.
Yep.
We want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Correct.
The Celtics, how does the series end if Porzingis is not healthy?
Elbows being thrown, honestly. It's going to be a absolute, grit and grind grudge match between the Knicks and Celtics if Porzingis isn't healthy, because he's a matchup nightmare for the Knicks. You know this.
Porzingis is a tough matchup for us. We don't have really anyone that can match up with Porzingis. So Knicks in 6? If y'all don't have Porzingis?
No. It's Celtics in 7. You guys will make it very interesting. You're gonna make it very interesting.
Are we the team that you fear the most in your
100%.
journey to your repeat in the East and in the West?
Yeah, because I'm really not moved by anybody in the West, to be honest.
I think the Thunder are the best team in the West, and I think that y'all handle the Thunder.
Yeah, I think we handle the Thunder. I think we're just a better version of the Thunder.
I think whoever comes out of the East this year is winning it all.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Whoever comes out of the East this year is winning it all.
Could even be those frauds in Philly, but they're a distant third right now.
We think Joel Embiid, Paul George are going to A, both be healthy, and then B, both play well in the playoffs? That doesn't happen. I am not scared at all of the Philadelphia 76ers. We're going to get Knicks Celtics in the playoffs at some point. It's going to be the most watched NBA playoff series in 10-plus years. Yeah, since Cavs Warriors
comeback, yeah.
It will be the most watched playoff series since Cavs Warriors.
I agree. I mean, Knicks Sixers kicked off some crazy numbers last year. So
that was the best series in the playoffs, in my opinion. But
yeah.
I'm biased, of course, but every game was awesome. Every game, it came down to the wire. Coming up on today's show, we have a mailbag to close. That will kick off in about 45 minutes. We haven't got to chop it up in a live setting like this. And I want to answer your questions. I want to answer your thoughts, your trade proposals, your opinions on what the Knicks are going to have to do this year to get back to a spot where they can compete for an NBA title. So if you want your questions featured on the show, you got to use hashtag Knicks in the comments. If you're new to the channel, we've grown like crazy. Just go in the comments and include hashtag Knicks just the way it appears on your screen. Ask a question. Tell me how you feel, what you want to do if you're the GM, and I will do my best to give you the best answer possible. And if you want to guarantee a spot on the mailbag, you got to super chat. All super chats that come in on today's show, we're going to pop those up on screen. Smitty and I will give our thoughts on that, and we'll spend a lot of time and give you our best answers to the questions that you may have. Before the mailbag, we're going to talk Julius Randle. I know everyone's, Marshall, stop talking about Julius Randle. Well, Brian Windhorst is talking about a Julius Randle trade. Zach Lowe is talking about a Julius Randle trade. The entire ESPN network is talking about a Julius Randle trade, which means I am going to talk about a Julius Randle trade. And then we have a video. So we have 3 videos. Julius Randle trade ideas and destinations from ESPN, and then 7 trade targets at the center position for the Knicks, and then a mailbag to get to on today's video. I want that mailbag to be dope, and I want to answer questions from real ones. So please, 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 I ask everyone watching, all 175 people, to get your questions in the comments and use hashtag Knicks or Super Chat to get on the show. First $50 Super Chat that comes in today, I'm doing a beer shotgun. Smitty, Hoops Hype. They released their list of top 100 players.
An interesting list.
I don't understand the qualifications for this list.
It feels like they were moving the goalposts throughout the entire ranking.
Are these 2K overalls? Are these
projections?
People that contribute to winning? I will say, it was nice to see Jalen Brunson number 8. I don't think I've seen a list this year that has had Jalen Brunson ranked higher than number 8.
Yeah.
Jason Timpf had him at 16 or 17.
That was hated.
That was a little much, but he went on to say that he thinks Jalen Brunson's the second best small guard in the NBA behind Steph Curry, and have anyone ranked ahead of him, which I can get. If you want to be a wings guy, be a wings guy. But once you say contributes to winning and you don't have Jalen Brunson inside the top 10, that list is thrown out the window. I'm going to pull up the exact.
Throw some names around Jalen Brunson. They had, I know my guy Jason Tatum at 6, which I was pretty happy about. I was like, you know what, I'll take that.
Jason Tatum at 6.
Yeah.
Are you worried that Jalen Brunson is right on his heels?
No.
Okay. Just curious. I thought that might worry you a little bit.
No, I'm not worried about Jalen Brunson. My number 6 best player in the NBA plays both sides of the floor.
So does ours. Led the league in charges taken.
Oh, that is a ridiculous stat to be thrown out about defense. Brandon Bitadze.
He's a willing defender.
He's willing, yes.
Willing, just not great. So I'll go to the bottom here. Look at the top. Of course, they start with number 100. Klay Thompson still being talked about as a top 100 player in the NBA.
They did that for clicks.
No one actually believes that.
No.
Except for Jeffrey Cooperstein and the Dallas Mavericks propaganda in this chat sports office.
Correct.
And of course, my list isn't loading because the Wi-Fi is bugging out right now. Who did they even have one? They had Victor Wembanyama, number 10.
Yeah,
Victor Wembanyama being number 10.
They had Tyrese Halliburton ranked above LeBron and Steph.
Domantas Sabonis at 10.
Was he at?
He was at 20. So number 1, they had Jokic. No complaints for me.
Yep.
2, Luka. I'm personally taking Giannis over Luka, but I'm not going to get mad at.
Here nor there for me.
They had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 3. I cannot put Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over
Wait, so
Giannis.
they had Luka below him?
Giannis at 4.
Giannis below him.
Joel Embiid at 5. Jason Tatum at 6. Anthony Edwards at 7. What are we doing? He's a great player. It's just not his time yet.
Clearly, they didn't watch the Mavericks series because he ran out of gas.
Ridiculous. Oh, my goodness. We got a 3-point goal. CPJ Bang! The GOAT. CPJ in the building. Shout out to my guy. I need all 181 people watching right now to give me a CPJ down in the chat. We appreciate you, brother. One of the longest watchers and supporters of this channel. It's not a Knicks Now watch party. It's not a Knicks Now episode if my man CPJ is not in the building. Show him some love. This channel wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for his support. He says, do it. Just do it.
Woof.
I'm down. You want to just go grab me? I think the tool is on the desk. On the desk. I don't know. I'm gonna go back to looking at this list because I'll ask this question first to the audience, and I want to hear from CPJ. Everyone watching, is 8 too low or too high for Jalen Brunson to be ranked? Hoops Hype ranked Jalen Brunson as the 8th best basketball player heading into the 2024-2025 season. Is 8 too low? Or I guess low is down. Too low as in he should be ranked closer to 9, 10, 11, and 12? Or was, I don't even know what the exact terminology I'm trying to say here. Too high? He's ranked too high, meaning he should be ranked closer to 100? Should he be ranked closer to 100 or closer to 1? That's the only way that I can understand the question I'm trying to ask. Jeffrey says too high. So if you say Jalen Brunson is ranked too high, Smitty, does that mean he should be ranked closer
to 100?
Closer to 100?
Yes.
Someone says Levi's the best. My guy says perfect. That's where I have him. Richard says too low. Justin says it's the right spot. Jeffrey says, let's be honest, too high.
I personally would have Brunson at about 10, and then LeBron and Steph at 8, 9.
So who do you think should be ranked higher at this current moment? Not talking 5 years from now, not talking 10 years from now, not talking about a dynasty league. Ranked higher right now.
Basketball.
Anthony Edwards or Jalen Brunson? I think it's Jalen Brunson. I do.
It's close.
I don't have we seen.
So you said if you're a wings guy, be a wings guy. I'm a wings guy.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Edwards, but
he's only 6'4". He's a guard.
Yeah.
But I get it. He's a bigger player. He can affect the game more on defense. I just don't think he can affect the game on offense quite like Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. I mean, Jalen Brunson is probably top 3 best ball-dominant player in the league.
You go him, Luka, SGA up there.
SGA probably, yeah.
I don't think Anthony Edwards can do what Jalen Brunson did against the Philadelphia 76ers yet. I don't think he can average 37 and 10 in a playoff series. I don't think he could do that yet. Can he one day? Yes.
And let's not act like Anthony Edwards was battling the Phoenix. The Timberwolves just demolished them. That series was never close. He played well against Denver, but then when it came time for Game 7, he kind of folded.
CPJ, cheers, brother. Let's ride.
Let's ride. Shout out CPJ in the chat. Less than 1 month away from Knicks basketball returning on your screens.
Woo! CPJ, our football teams stink, but our basketball teams, they're elite. They're elite, man. Carl! What's up, OG? Shout out to Carl in the building. Big Dave says, who's above Jalen Brunson? Official list. Number 1, Nikola Jokic. No problem. Number 2, Luka Doncic. He's above Brunson. I just wouldn't have him as the second best player in the league. 3, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Above Brunson, too high still.
Yes. Giannis, I think that he's the second best player in the league, but he is above Brunson in my opinion. Joel Embiid, when healthy, yes. Jason Tatum, I'll concede. Sure, I guess.
That was awesome.
Anthony Edwards, I just can't go there personally yet.
Am
I biased? Yes, but I just can't go there yet.
I'm okay. Like, I wouldn't bat an eye. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if anybody, or anybody at a major media outlet, or you or anybody in this office had Brunson above Edwards. It's not. I think it's very splitting hairs there.
And then Anthony Davis 9. I wouldn't be mad if someone put Anthony Davis above Jalen Brunson just because I understand. Victor Wembanyama at 10. That's a joke. Kevin Durant at 11. Tyrese Halliburton at 12. LeBron James at 13. Curry at 14.
Curry at 14 feels super low.
Yeah. Tyrese Maxey at 15. Booker at 16. Donovan Mitchell at 17. Jaylen Brown at 18. Jaylen Brown being behind Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Tyrese Maxey and Tyrese Halliburton is a joke.
He continues to be disrespected.
Ja Morant at 19. What's Ja Morant doing this year? Is Ja getting back to being Ja?
Like this, he was bad over the time that he did play last year, right? Like, he wasn't great.
He hasn't played hoops in feels like 2 years.
Didn't he see the floor last year, or am I tweeting?
No, he did. He played like 12. I want to say he played 9 games on the dot. I don't know for sure. But I know he didn't play that much.
Played 9 games.
Yeah, 9 games.
Man, it's 25 a night. 40.
Like, Ja's a great player. It just feels like we haven't seen him in forever.
He also is still fairly unreliable three-point shooter. That's the part of his game that is missing. He's fine. Good playmaker. Not great.
He's like a Derrick Rose type of playmaker.
Yeah.
Drive, jump, pass, kick.
Yep.
They got Sabonis at 20. He stuffs the stat sheet. I'm just not a Sabonis guy.
I don't think you're ever going to win a title with Sabonis, top 2 player.
Damian Lillard at 21. That is a joke. Damian Lillard stinks.
He's closer to 100 than he is 20.
He shot 42% from the field as a small guard who doesn't play defense and 35% from 3. Below league average from the field, below league average from 3.
Doesn't defend.
Below league average defender. Like, why does Damian Lillard still get the love? Because his name's Dame? Because he did this one time? A lot of people are getting back in on the Bucks this year, Smitty. They have a worse roster than last year, and Damian Lillard is only getting older.
Yeah. That team looks like it's on its last legs. Its window is closing, but I guess as long as you have Giannis, the window's never really closed.
They got Zion Williamson at 22.
What is he?
Yeah.
Do we know what Zion is?
He was great in that playing game, then got hurt.
Yep.
Paolo Banchero at 23. That seems a little early. I love Paolo. Seems a little early. De'Aaron Fox at 24. Sure. Siakam at 25. I mean, Kawhi Leonard at 26. When's the last time he played a meaningful basketball game? Paul George at 27. Bam Adebayo at 28.
Feels kind of disrespectful to have George below Leonard, considering the amount of time that they've both played these past couple of years.
Trae Young, 29. Jimmy Butler, 30.
He stinks.
Cat, 31. They had Randle at 38. Cat at 31. And they got Gobert at 32. They got Kyrie Irving at 33. Lauri Markkanen, 34.
Ooh.
Scotty Barnes at 35. Look, I don't love Julius Randle as a basketball player, but there's not. Julius Randle is a better basketball player at this current moment than Scotty Barnes. When Scotty Barnes is the best player on his team that gets his team to the 4th seed in the East, we can talk. But right now, he's giving you 19, 8, and 6. And they don't win games.
Yeah. I mean,
like, you got to win games if you're going to be a top 35 player in the NBA. That means you are 5 players away from being a number 1 option.
Correct.
And you're not. Jamal Murray, 36. I always got love for Jamal. He's just injury-prone, inconsistent. Cade Cunningham at 37, 1 spot above Julius Randle. What has Cade Cunningham done in the NBA to say he's better than Julius Randle? And I love Cade Cunningham.
I do too. He's played like 40 games in his career.
Yeah. Then they got Randle at 38. People behind Randle, Alperen Sengun, Chet Holmgren, LaMelo Ball, Jaren Jackson, Jalen Williams. What do you think about Kristaps Porzingis being ranked below Julius Randle?
Probably. I mean,
the injuries, I'm guessing, are factored into this?
That can't factor in because
of the way they had Kawhi Leonard.
How do they have Kawhi?
Agreed. And Zion.
So Yeah, this
I'm
is a
not
bogus
mad
ranking.
at Randle being ranked 38.
That feels
but-
right to me.
I'm anywhere from 30 to 45 with Randle. Like, if you throw him somewhere from 30 to 45, I'm cool with it.
Now the real egregious.
Yeah, I'm going to be
here.
honest. I am biased. I will admit it. OG Anunoby at 57 feels a little low for me. It does.
I mean, I would rather have, and maybe I'm crazy for saying this, would I rather have OG Anunoby on my basketball team or Alperen Sengun?
Yeah.
I'd probably rather have OG Anunoby.
They had, I don't know if this should be a 4, but I think they had Mikal as 56.
Right before him at 56.
So they had 6 players
Top 57.
in the top 57. No,
4
players in the top 57.
6 players in the top 100.
That's got to be the most. Did the Celtics have 6 in the top 100?
Celtics probably didn't have 6. I doubt Horford made it. But maybe, like, did Pritchard make it? I'm telling you right now, give me Peyton Pritchard over Klay Thompson right now.
I don't hate that. Like, I don't think Klay Thompson can defend anymore personally. So you're just getting a great shooter, and I don't know. Who'd you rather have on your basketball team, Desmond Bane or OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges?
I'd rather have the 2.
Or just either one of them. I'm taking the
Bane-
6'8", 6'7", 6'6" wings over a 6'3" shooting guard with a negative wingspan.
He has the shortest arms in the league.
I don't know. I think that they had Derek White at 50. So you're telling me that Desmond Bane's a better player than Derek White?
He's not.
You're telling me Evan Mobley is a better player than OG Anunoby?
No, he's not.
Darius Garland's better than OG Anunoby?
He fell off this year. I don't know why he's ranked higher.
DeJounte Murray is better than OG
He
Anunoby?
was just traded for Larry Nance.
I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people don't respect and give OG Anunoby the love that he deserves. Because to properly judge OG Anunoby as a player, Smitty, you have to watch. You have to watch the game. Because, yeah, he's only getting 16 points a game. He doesn't stuff the stat sheet. But every single game, you feel the impact. I think he led the NBA in plus-minus when he came to the Knicks. Like, he is a game changer. He's one of the best defenders. I think he's the best big wing defender in the NBA, guarding guys 3, 4, and 5. And he could score. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased.
I've always been an OG Anunoby guy, so I'll back you there. I think he's a little low.
And then I think Mikal Bridges is going to prove some people wrong this year again.
I want to know what his share of the offensive load is going to be.
We got Brandon Miller at 58. You're telling me OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are one spot better than Brandon Miller? Come on, dog.
He's in Charlotte.
Zach LaVine at 62. Austin Reeves, 63. Michael Porter, 64. Jalen Green, 65. I don't know. Are we trying to win games or are we trying to have cool YouTube videos?
Yeah.
Because I'm taking Josh Hart and DiVincenzo over Miles Bridges. I'm taking them over. I love Jalen Johnson. He's going to prove to be a dog this year for Atlanta.
Big Jalen Johnson guy.
Who are you taking, Tyler Hero or Josh Hart and DiVincenzo?
Wait. Tyler Hero is ranked above them?
69. Nice.
Tyler Hero is a net negative on the basketball court.
Kobe White, like CJ McCollum.
Low-key respect Kobe White. He's tough.
Josh Giddey, Bradley Beal, D'Angelo Russell.
Beal's there for clicks. Russell there for clicks.
Devin Vassell.
Vassell's good.
Emmanuel Quickly at 77. Good for him.
He's $35 million a year.
A lot of money for Emmanuel Quickly. Herb Jones coming in
Jones,
next.
get him higher.
Yeah. Jaden McDaniels at 79. We got Jeremy Grant at 80. Josh Hart at 81. Then you get Keegan Murray, Jonathan Kuminga, Malik Monk, Cam Thomas, then Dante DiVincenzo.
Would I rather have
Anthony Simons, Jabari Smith, Vucevic. So you get 6 players inside the top 86. I'll take the respect, but I want OG and Mikal and Jalen, OG, Mikal, Julius, Josh Hart, and DiVincenzo to carry a chip on their shoulder. That's where I'm at on that. That's my guy, Lord Buddy Bear. Shout out to Lord Buddy Bear coming in with a $5 super chat. Jay Whisper in the chat, dog, you're just going to have to go. You're just going to have to go. Lord Buddy Bear, what up, man? A Knicks Now real one. My man says, ordered my Brunson jersey. Hasn't got here yet. Next check, I'm getting Anunoby. Healthy Anunoby should be one on that list. Healthy Anunoby, in my opinion, is a top 35 player in the league. Maybe not top 35 player, top 35 difference maker. Top 35 difference maker. Because I get it. You're not making the playoffs if OG Anunoby is your number one option. But if he's your number 3, you're a damn good basketball team.
I agree with that.
Just like Drew Holiday, just like Derek White. Like,
they're all that same bucket of players.
yeah, we got to stop just talking about the guys that are better on 2K. And we need to find a better way to scale and value players than just points,
Zach
rebounds.
LaVine is not the 62nd best player.
Oh, my God. No one wants Zach LaVine. No one wants him.
His own team doesn't want him, and no other teams want him.
Ridiculous. We are going to get to a mailbag in about 30 minutes. So if you want to, Big Dave says, I'd like to review this list after the season. How about we do that, Big Dave? How about we review this after the Knicks put up a banner at MSG? Let's go. First one since 72, 73. Let's ride. 215 people in the building. Get your questions in the comment section. We're going to get to a mailbag in about 30, 35 minutes or so. We want to answer your questions. We haven't been live in a little while. My favorite part about this channel is just chopping it up with the real ones. So if you have a comment, you got a question, you got a take, you want to do the Knicks to do something, you don't want them to do something, you want to ask me about something, just drop your question down below in the comment section and use hashtag Knicks like it looks on screen. That way, producer Smitty can put it up on screen so we could talk about it. If you want to skip the line, all super chats get up on screen, and we'll spend a couple of minutes talking about that, getting you the best answer possible. 215 people watching, 83 likes. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon. Once we get to 100 likes, we'll start. 17 likes away. If you have liked the video, type me. That way I know who the real ones are in the chat. 207 people watching. It's Knicks basketball, baby.
We're in September, baby. You guys are ready for Knicks hoops to be back.
Let's go. The Hibby liked the video. Yes, sir. Troy Stallings liked the video. Yes, sir. Levi's the best. Like the video. That's my guy right there. Jet Life for life. My man. Yes, sir. Appreciate you liking the video. Cad and Ren like the video. Salute, big dog. Thank you for liking the show. If you could, hit that thumbs up icon. It's easy. It's free. It helps the channel grow. My man Akins. Rashidi Akins. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's my guy right there. Melpster in the chat. What up, dog? Albert says, what's up with the Philippines Center? I'm not sure what you mean by that. The center from the Philippines, Kai Soto? We don't talk about Kai Soto on this channel because he's not an NBA player. If you want Kai Soto talk, go watch Chats Warriors by Chat Sports. They might even be done with that as well. Shout out to everybody in the building. 2 likes away. Hit that thumbs up icon. Smitty just ran to go do something. Once he comes back, we will... I am dead. Let's go. 100 likes. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. We got Julius Randle trade ideas and trade destinations from ESPN, and then 7 centers that I think the Knicks will monitor this season. What's up, Levi? Josh in the chat. What up, Justin? What up, Albert? Shout out to everybody in the building. Buddy Bear says, what up, computer? What up, cell phone? We got Buddy Bear watching not once, but twice. Let's ride. 220 people in the building. Y'all are real ones. KW in the building. What's good? Michael Dollar. Salute. I love the way. Captain. Jalen Brunson. On to play basketball.
On to play for the Knicks.
Oh, my gosh. All righty. Johnny says, Johnny, great question.
Throw a little hashtag Knicks on there. Copy paste that, throw a little hashtag Knicks on there.
Exactly. We want to answer that in our mailbag coming up in a little bit, Johnny. Just include hashtag Knicks like you see it on screen. That way we can use our software to put it up on screen and answer it in our mailbag. Levi's, appreciate you getting a question. Brendan, hashtag Knicks in the comments, and we'll answer that on the mailbag. Shout out to everybody. The best way to get your questions on the show, hashtag Knicks included in your comment or super chat. All super chats are guaranteed to get on the show. But let's start with what I would say is the biggest story right now surrounding our New York Knicks. John Borelli, what's good, homie? You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. as we react to a podcast from Zach Lowe and Bobby Marks of ESPN, where they came up with trade ideas and trade destinations. 7 destinations for a potential Julius Randle trade. We're going to unpack that around the corner. But first, I want to open up the comment section to all of the diehard New York Knicks fans that are going to watch this video. Do you think the Knicks should trade Julius Randle? Sound off for me. Y for yes, M for no. We are about a month away from New York Knicks basketball being back, and I am very, very excited, especially with the way the New York Giants are playing. But today's show, 7 trade destinations that Zach Lowe and Bobby Marks of ESPN cooked up. Before we dive into those, let's set the table a little bit. The biggest question right now surrounding the Knicks is, will the Knicks extend Julius Randle, or will Julius Randle sign a contract extension? After that, the next question is, will Julius Randle decline or accept his player option going into the summer? Randle has a player option following the conclusion of the 2024-2025 NBA season of $30.9 million. If he accepts it, he will be on the Knicks next season at almost $31 million. If he declines it, he will be an unrestricted free agent and be able to sign with any team in NBA free agency. If Julius Randle wants to continue his legacy and his tenure as a Knick, he can sign a contract extension of 4 years and $181 million, $45 million per year. That's if the New York Knicks have offered them this contract extension. This is the most that the Knicks can offer. If Julius Randle waits until he is a free agent, he could potentially sign a 5-year, $313 million deal with the Knicks. That's the most he could get. That'd be $62.6 million. Also, if Julius Randle signs this extension right now, he cannot be traded until after the trade deadline. Meaning, if Julius Randle wants us to stop talking about trade rumors, if Julius Randle wants to be a Knick throughout the regular season no matter what, he signs the extension. Because once you sign the extension, you can't be traded for 6 months. 6 months from now is after the 2025 NBA trade deadline. I have said this 1 million times. And whether you think I'm a Julius Randle hater, whether you think I am a Julius Randle truther, I want you to understand how I feel about this. If regular season Randle, if the 3-time All-Star, the 2-time All-NBA player, if 25, 10, and 5 on 45% from the field and 35% from 3, if that Julius Randle shows up in the playoffs for 16 wins, he does not get hurt, the New York Knicks will win the NBA championship. The New York Knicks are the best team in the NBA if you get 3-time All-Star and 2-time All-NBA Julius Randle show up in the playoffs. But the question is, can he do it? I'm not sure. I want him to be, because the best way for the Knicks to have the best roster and the best chance to win is for him to do so. But there's going to be a decision at Leon Rose's feet of, does he wait and believe, or does he try to make something happen before he runs into a situation that he feels might be inevitable? But let's dive into it. 7 trade destinations from ESPN. One of the ones they mentioned, the Dallas Mavericks. And this has felt like a team that has been linked to Julius Randle for quite some time. Whether it be because he's from Dallas or whatever it may be, but it always feels like the Knicks and Randle have been linked to the Mavericks. Well, what do the Knicks get back in a Julius Randle trade? I think it's important to note that Julius Randle makes about $28.5 million this upcoming season. Meaning if the Knicks want to trade Randle and they don't want to be hard capped at the first apron, they need to accept less money back in a trade. So how did the Knicks get $27, $28, $29 million in salary from the Mavericks? P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford. That gets you close to $29 million. Should they make the move for P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford? Let's talk about it. Who are you getting? In P.J. Washington, you're getting a guy that came over from Charlotte, added to Dallas, and immediately upon his arrival, Dallas became one of the better defensive teams in the NBA. He's a guy that's going to play hard. He knows his role. He knocks down the corner 3 at a high level. But overall, especially in the last couple of years, he has not shot the ball all that well from three. Daniel Gafford, on the other hand, you're getting a guy that's an elite rim protector, a guy that can go up and catch lobs like the best players in the NBA. He fortified and solidified that center position for the Dallas Mavericks. It was a great tandem of Gafford and Lively for Dallas. So you're potentially getting a guy that could start at power forward and a potential starting center. But I'm just not the biggest fan of P.J. Washington. I don't really love the fit of him on this team because it feels redundant in a way. Defensive wing, can shoot the three a little bit. Throughout his career, shoots 35%. But in the playoffs, we saw teams were daring P.J. Washington to shoot threes for the Dallas Mavericks. The Boston Celtics were leaving him open, saying, hey, if y'all want to beat us with P.J. Washington threes, go ahead. And I'm not sure I want to operate a team like that because I want everyone surrounding Jalen Brunson outside of the center position to be a threat, to be a catch-and-shoot guy. I think that's how you maximize Jalen Brunson's skill set. But he's 6'7", 230, and he's 26. He's potentially a starting 4 and a potential starting 5. That's who I think you'd get back in a trade with the Mavericks. They also mentioned the Los Angeles Lakers. And for a lot of these teams, they mentioned players that they thought that they could go out in a trade for Randle. For the Lakers, they didn't really mention any players. So I'm going to try to make an educated guess of who a trade could be. Remember, we got to get close to that $28 million mark. The Knicks have no interest in D'Angelo Russell. They have a point guard, they have a backup point guard, and they have a third-string point guard. I think Rui Hachimura would probably be the key ingredient in a trade if the Knicks were to trade Julius Randle to the Lakers. That's $17 million. Lakers aren't trading Austin Reeves. He's on a great contract, maybe the best value contract in the NBA outside of Jalen Brunson and anybody on the Knicks. I think it'd be either Gabe Vincent and Hachimura in a first or Vanderbilt and Hachimura. Lakers can't have a first to trade outside of 2029. And to be honest with you, I'm not interested in making a trade with the Lakers because I'm not trading Julius Randle for any of these players. The Atlanta Hawks were another team mentioned by Marks and Lowe. And this one I thought was pretty interesting. The two players that they mentioned that could go from Atlanta to the Knicks were Clint Capella and DeAndre Hunter. We had heard a couple of weeks ago that the New York Knicks had interest in Clint Capella. They need a center, whether it's a starting center, whether it's a center to complement Mitchell Robinson. With the way that center depth chart is shaken out, you need to add a center. And honestly, I think the best player you're getting in this deal is DeAndre Hunter. I think DeAndre Hunter is a really good basketball player, and you could potentially get a starting center and a starting power forward. Capella is what he is, which is a walking double-double. He's going to get you 10 points, he's going to get you 10 rebounds, and he's going to protect the rim at a pretty high level. DeAndre Hunter, he's going to score somewhere from 10 to 17 points. He's going to play good defense at 6'8", and he has proven to be a pretty dang good knockdown shooter in this league, shooting 38% from beyond the arc and efficient from three. Question of why are the Hawks looking to trade Hunter? They just drafted Zachary Rissache, number 1 overall, and they also are going to give Jalen Johnson a major contract extension. So there's not a lot of room for Hunter to continue to grow. I love DeAndre Hunter's game, and I think that he could be a really good fit for the Knicks because he's unselfish, he plays winning basketball, he could defend multiple positions, and he is a threat on the floor at all times to be a knockdown shooter. And he always kills the Knicks. So you're getting a starting center, you're getting Hunter for Randle. I don't love it. I also don't hate it. The next team that ESPN mentioned were the Portland Trail Blazers. And this one had multiple layers to it. They mentioned a couple of different players and a couple of different trade options for this. The one that intrigued me the most was DeAndre Ayton. And I know there's probably a lot of people that watch this channel and say, Marshall, you don't want DeAndre Ayton. And you know what? You're probably right. But if I'm going to take a chance on anyone, it's a 7-foot center at 26 years old. That was a former number 1 overall pick that is a walking 15-11 in his NBA career. Do I somewhat question the commitment and the love of basketball for Ayton? A little bit, but I don't know if that's exactly fair because I haven't been on a team with him. I'm not in the locker room with him, and I haven't talked to anybody that knows that with it. But it seems like the stigma around him is he doesn't love basketball. He's not a winning player. Played pretty good in the finals for the Phoenix Suns when they got there against the Milwaukee Bucks where they did lose. And I like the idea of having another offensive player on this team. a closing lineup of Ayton, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, or DiVincenzo with Jalen Brunson, that's a pretty damn good closing five. And Ayton is a great mid-range player. And it just gives you another guy you could throw the ball to and run an offense through when Jalen Brunson is sitting down. So I don't hate the idea of a Julius Randle for DeAndre Ayton trade. Another player that the ESPN boys, put together was Robert Williams. It was Robert Williams, who makes about $13 million, and a couple of other salaries put together to make the deal happen. We did a full in-depth video on Robert Williams. I gave you my thoughts on him. We did an intense dive into his career. You can go check that out on the channel. I like Robert Williams, but I also don't love that he hasn't played more than 65 games at any point in time in his NBA career. I don't want to add another injury-prone player to this roster. I thought it was interesting, though, that another player that they mentioned was Jeremy Grant. I also thought it was interesting that Jeremy Grant showed up to the Roommate Brother podcast in New York in person. And Josh Hart says, that's my boy. And Jeremy Grant says, I am always going to support Josh Hart. I think Grant's a good player. I don't think he's a great player. I think Randle is a much better player than him. But I do think there is a world where Jeremy Grant may be a little bit better of a fit on this team than Julius Randle. But I do think Randle is better than Grant. Something to keep your eye on. We've got more trade ideas and trade destinations from the ESPN guys. But first, I got to give a major shout out to today's sponsor, Game Time. And if you're looking to buy tickets for the Knicks this year, you want to go catch the Yankees, the Mets before the baseball season's over, or go watch your NFL team, get your last-minute tickets for the best prices and the lowest prices at the best seats, guaranteed, with Game Time. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. The app is super user-friendly, and the thing I love about Game Time is they're always looking out for their customers. Last-minute tickets and flash deals, views from the seats in the app, and the lowest price guarantee. And the features that they offer to their users that make it easy are awesome. The all-in pricing feature. No one likes getting hit with hidden fees when they get to check out after they buy tickets. The price you see is the price you pay with Game Time when you have the all-in pricing feature on. And the Game Time picks, you can customize the app with their new feature, the Game Time picks, so it only shows you tickets to your favorite teams, your favorite bands, your favorite artists, comedians, and so on and so forth. It makes it easy to go see and watch the favorite people you want to watch. Make sure you are hooked up with our proud sponsor, Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS. What time is it? It's game time. $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply if you use that promo code CHATSPORTS. Another team that the ESPN guys mentioned as a trade destination for Julius Randle were the Chicago Bulls. And honestly, this one didn't make much sense to me. And I do want to also say in this video, Zach Lowe and Bobby Marks pretty much said, we don't love any of these trade ideas for the Knicks, and it might be the best case scenario where the Knicks keep Randle. And I'll share my thoughts on that. They mentioned Nikola Vucevic, and that's the obvious trade target and trade match if you're doing a deal. Vucevic makes north of $20 million. He doesn't fit their long-term plans, and it would give the Knicks a starting center. A starting center that is a very good offensive player, right? 23 points per game, 17, 18 points per game, giving you 10-plus boards, shooting almost 50% from the deck, and he's shown the ability in the past to knock down the three. He'd be a really good pick-and-pop player with Jalen Brunson. They could play five out with this team. But what also comes with Vucevic is underwhelming defense and a guy that's not going to give you much on the defensive end. And, let's just call it what it is. Tom Thibodeau is not going to be a fan of Nikola Vucevic. Tom Thibodeau was not a fan of Kemba Walker. Tom Thibodeau was not a fan of Evan Fournier. Tom Thibodeau is not a guy that's going to play you consistently if you don't affect the game on both ends. And throughout his career, Nikola Vucevic has shown that he is not someone that's going to be a positive guy on the defensive end. So for me, I'm not trading Julius Randle for Nikola Vucevic. The next team that they mentioned were the Washington Wizards. And this is a destination that we have talked about in the past. The two players that they mentioned coming back from Washington, that would be Knicks, with Randle going out, would be Kyle Kuzma and Jonas Valanciunas. Their salaries get you in a spot where you could make this trade. Do the Knicks need Kyle Kuzma? Do the Knicks need Kyle Kuzma? I don't know. I think Kyle Kuzma is a really skilled player. I think he's someone that can fill up the stat sheet. He can light up an arena on any single given night. Is he a winning player? Is he unselfish? Is he willing to do whatever it takes to win a basketball game? And how much does he give you on the defensive end? He's also not that efficient, 34% from three last year. I do like Jonas Valanciunas as a player and a good center tandem with Mitchell Robinson because he gives you a little bit of that yin and yang effect. Robinson, defense, rebounding, shot blocking. Jonas Valanciunas, offense, spacing, and can go to him on the block. But is it enough for me to give up Julius Randle? I'm not so sure. The last team that they mentioned were the Utah Jazz. And I'm always hesitant to do deals and talk about deals with the Utah Jazz because it's Danny Ainge, and Danny Ainge ain't doing the deal unless he's hitting you over the head with a 2x4. But I don't mind the package that they talked about. Walker Kessler and John Collins. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Walker Kessler. I think Kessler could become one of the best defensive players in the National Basketball Association under Tom Thibodeau. But do I want to pay $26.5 million for John Collins this year and $27.5 million for John Collins next year? I'm not so sure. Kessler's a good player. He's one of the best rim protectors. He's a good offensive rebounder. He's a good shot blocker, man. 2.4 blocks per game. Gets in the passing lanes. He could be an anchor to your defense. But what is John Collins? The Hawks were trying to give John Collins away for 3 years. And I'm not going to bite into the fact and buy that John Collins is back because of what he did for Utah. It's easy to put up good stats on a bad team. And he did that. 15 points, 9 rebounds, and he shot 37% from 3 last year. Look, I love Walker Kessler, but I am not trading Julius Randle for Walker Kessler and John Collins. I'm not. That's a 3-time All-Star. That's a 2-time All-NBA player. I'm not giving him up for Walker Kessler. I'm not. And to be honest with you, I don't really love any of those trades. You could say whatever you think about how I feel about Julius Randle, but I'm telling you, I'm not trading him for P.J. Washington, Daniel Gafford. I didn't like any of those Lakers trades. I didn't mind the Capella and DeAndre Hunter trade. But I don't really love any of these. I don't. And it's because I value the value of Julius Randle. I don't know. Maybe you could sway me in the comments. We went through 7 trades and 7 trade destinations today. And I want to hear from you. Which trade do you think, and keep in mind the people we talked about, would you want to go with? Number 1, the Mavs. Number 2, the Lakers. 3, Hawks. 4, Trailblazers. 5, Bulls. 6, Wizards. 7, Jazz. Or you could type none of the above. Because honestly, that's kind of what I lean to in this one. I am only trading Julius Randle for a player that is either A, just as good, or B, a player that fits the team better. If I had to choose one of those, I'd probably go with DeAndre Ayton. And I don't love that. I don't. Maybe the Knicks just got to roll with Randle. And that's not such a bad thing. Hopefully he stays healthy, and hopefully he gets it rocking and rolling once we get to the playoffs. Because like we've said for Daniel Jones for a year, it's now or never. It is now or never for Julius Randle. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. The handle on both. Really would appreciate if you gave me a follow over there. And if you do, you're a real one. Smitty, if you had to choose one of those deals.
I'm glad you're asking.
Which one?
I kind of love the Atlanta deal. Bring DeAndre Hunter to New York.
That's my
Clint
second favorite
Capella.
one behind Aiden.
I like the Atlanta deal.
You get a starting center in Clint Capella. You get a guy that can start at power forward. You get another wing.
As far as skill sets that you're getting back from one of these deals, Washington isn't bad, but does it really fit the Knicks? Probably not. Same thing with Dallas. Just because those 2 players made Dallas very good on the tail end of last season doesn't mean they'll make the Knicks very good.
Yeah.
So I think that the most plug-and-play guys you can have out of all these, Hunter and Capella.
The only thing I worry about is none of those. neither Hunter or Clint Capella put any fear into a defense's heart. No matter what we say about Randle, teams game plan to stop Julius Randle. Julius Randle has gravity. Julius Randle last 3 years is one of the most double-teamed players in the NBA.
Yeah.
That opens up Brunson. That opens up Chenzo. That opens up Bridges. That opens up Anunoby. And I think that with the Knicks, they could use another guy, if it's Randle or someone else, that can kind of bend a defense a little bit. Make you fear somebody else. And
nobody's scared of DeAndre Hunter putting the ball in the deck.
nobody. He's going to catch and shoot, knock it down at 38%, no doubt about it.
But you already have two players in your starting five who do that.
Yeah.
Very well.
Julius Randle's a tricky player, man. Because he is good. I just don't know if he's great.
Yeah, and I'm also not trading for DeAndre Hunter if he's only going to play 18 minutes a night. And that might be what happens if he comes to New York. I mean, you have so much allotted minutes for Hart, DiVincenzo, Bridges, and Anunoby. And those are the positions that DeAndre Hunter plays.
Yeah. Jet Life 4 Life said trade number 3. Which one was that?
That one was, if I can find my mouse. I'll just find it on here.
3 was the Hawks.
3 was the Hawks. Yeah, that's the one we're talking about. The Lakers was just ridiculous. The Lakers might be the worst deal.
Yeah, I'm not interested in making a deal with the Lakers unless I'm getting Anthony Davis.
Lakers and Bulls are stinky deals.
Yeah, I don't want the Bulls deal. I don't mind.
Vucevic stinks, man.
Vucevic stinks.
I actually don't mind the Jazz package, but again, if the best player you're trading Julius Randle for is Walker Kessler, you probably lose that deal.
Yeah, you're not taking advantage of what you got. I would either go with the Hawks deal or DeAndre Ayton, but even then I don't love it. And honestly, I'd probably go Ayton just because he's probably the best player, your individual player you're getting back.
Yes.
And there's still a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, I think the best case scenario here is just to roll with Randle.
I think so as well.
If he really cares about the future of this organization, he's going to take the money that allows him to do that.
CPJ says no more Sengun. Look, I would love to trade Randle for Sengun, but
Houston probably wouldn't.
Houston probably ain't doing that, and it just wasn't talked about in the podcast that I watched. I just wanted to kind of react to those. But, yeah, if you could somehow get Sengun for Randle, yeah, I'm in.
All right. We got – now, if the Knicks do go with Randle, they still have a hole at the center spot.
Yeah. No matter what, you have to add another center to this team. And we got a video coming up, 7 centers that the New York Knicks can trade for. But we're also going to get to a mailbag in about 20 minutes. I want to answer your questions. So please, please, please get down in the comments section and use hashtag Knicks. That way, producer Smitty can get your questions up on screen. Joe Curry, what up, man? Says, no, I don't even want Giannis anymore. The only player I would trade Juju for is Banchero. Are you saying you wouldn't trade Julius Randle for Giannis Antetokounmpo? Did you just say that? I must be misreading, or you may have mistyped. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the second best player in the NBA, and I don't really think it's close.
Yeah, and nobody else seems to think so. Everybody's on the Luka train except
Luka's fat. Luka's got fatter since the finals ended.
He's out of shape. He is,
a negative on defense.
I
don't give a fuck what the analytics say during the season. Watch with your eyes during the playoffs. He can't guard anyone. Don't tell me he's hurt. Everyone's hurt.
Everyone's hurt.
Everyone is hurt.
Long postseason, dude. So, Giannis, who the first player in NBA history, this went totally under the radar this year. The first player in NBA history to average a 30-point double-double on 60% shooting. That's unbelievable.
And then,
and nobody bats an eye for it either.
Luka's only getting less athletic by the day. So how is he going to become a better defender? Unless he becomes
he'll never be a good defender.
Yeah, I don't know. Breeze World says I like Jaren Jackson. Yeah, if we could trade Randle for Jaren Jackson, we'd be lit.
Sign me up, yeah. They're building a pretty good defensive front court there though, with Edey down low.
Yeah. And Jaren Jackson feels like a Grizzly for a long, long time.
Yeah. He's locked up too. They paid him. I don't know. It's not a crazy number relative to what's getting thrown out there now, but he's locked into Memphis for a while.
Joe Curry, I respect your opinion, and I appreciate you being here. You will never convince me that the Knicks should not trade Randle for Giannis. I would trade Everyone on the Knicks roster is up for a trade for Giannis except for Jalen Brunson. I would include anyone on the team. Like, no one is off limits except for Jalen Brunson when it comes to a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade.
100%.
And I love
And even
all
that, and even then, like, I would give up Brunson for Giannis. To be honest here. Would you do it?
No.
You're weird for that.
I'm not.
You're weird for that. You just called the second best player in the league. Undisputed.
And
not even
Brunson's
close.
8. And Brunson's 8.
The gap between 8 and 2 is so large. I think Brunson's a phenomenal player. But let's be serious here.
I'm not.
You're crazy.
I'm not doing it. He's given too much to this organization. That's like saying that the Colts would have traded Peyton Manning for Tom Brady. They wouldn't have.
They wouldn't have. I guess you're right.
They would not have.
I think the gap between Brunson and Giannis is a little bit bigger.
The Bengals would not trade Joe Burrow
Shut up.
to the Chiefs
Don't
for
say
Mahomes.
it. You're
They won it.
ridiculous. You're ridiculous.
They won it.
absolutely would.
No, they wouldn't.
Oh.
They would.
They have
They
to.
would.
They have to.
They would. I just can't do it. I can't trade Jalen Brunson. He gave me too much. He gave this organization too much.
I've never had somebody do what Jalen Brunson did for my franchise this summer, so I don't really know how I would feel if that happened. He would probably be my favorite human in the world if I had a guy take a $100 million pay.
Not even that. He came in here to save basketball for New York.
Yeah. I mean, the ceiling was limited with Randle being your number one option. Then he comes along and just raises it.
William Burton, my man, the Bang God. What's up, William Burton? He says, what up, Marsh? Long time, brother. Can't wait till we get going. Go, New York. Go, New York. Go. Shout out to my man, William Burton. Let's go. Levi's the best, says our vibes are immaculate in the locker room. Best locker room in the league. Best locker room in the league. All righty. 7 centers the New York Knicks can trade for. Let's dive into it. The New York Knicks, Leon Rose, Tom Thibodeau, Brock Aller, Gerson Rosas, and Worldwide Wes. They all know that the New York Knicks need to trade for a center if they want to go try to put a banner up at MSG. We've got 7 centers that I think the Knicks could look to target in a trade this upcoming season. We'll break that down coming up in a second, but I want to hear from all the real ones that are locked in to today's show. Do you think the Knicks even need to trade for a center? Or should they just rock out with Mitchell Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, Jericho Sims, and Ariel Huck-Porty? Lock your answer in right now. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. 7 centers that the New York Knicks could trade for. Look, if you could turn injuries off and you can guarantee me that Mitchell Robinson is going to be healthy and available to play for the entire 2025 playoffs, then I would say the Knicks don't need to trade for a center because Robinson's a good player. And I can rock with Precious Achiuwa being my backup center. And I can deal with Jericho Sims being the third center. Robinson is one of the best rim protectors and one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. If you tell me he's healthy and you can guarantee me that he's healthy, I only need to make a trade. Because I like Achiuwa as the backup 5, and he gives you versatility to where he could play some 4. He could play some 5-4 role action next to Julius Randle. And I like Jericho Sims as that third center. But I don't think anyone can guarantee me that Mitchell Robinson's going to be ready to go for the playoffs. The guy's played more than 60 games one time in the last 4 seasons. Like, that's a major concern for me. The Knicks need to go out and make a move for a center. Because if they don't, and their center rotation following the trade deadline is Robinson, Achiuwa, and Jericho Sims, you are a Mitchell Robinson injury away from Precious Achiuwa and Jericho Sims having to play big-time minutes in the playoffs. And I don't think that that is a recipe to put a banner in the rafters at the world's most famous arena. Call me a hater, whatever. I just don't think that's enough to get it done to get some of the best teams in the NBA. So how can they go out and improve that team? Select 7 players they can look to trade for. We've heard for a while that the New York Knicks have the liking for Jalen Duren. We heard this summer that the Knicks checked in on Jalen Duren, and I think if the Knicks are going to make a trade for a center, doing one that's for a guy that's 20 years old and has elite upside and right now a ceiling that we don't know where he is as a player. I like it because I think Jalen Duren could potentially be the center of the future for the New York Knicks. Look, he's come into the NBA and he has showed that he belongs. He's super athletic. He's a lob threat. But the thing that I love about him the most is he improved as a player drastically from year 1 to year 2. That tells me he put the work in. That tells me he's going to continue to get better and better. That tells me that he loves the game of basketball. And when you couple that with the fact that he's 7 foot and that he has elite athleticism, you're going to be in a good spot. And I know it's Detroit and they didn't win many games last year, and it's easy to compile stats on a bad team. But shit, at 20 years old in his second year in the league, he's giving you 14 and 12 with a block per night and 3 offensive boards. You roll out a starting lineup at Jalen Duren, Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson. That's one of the best lineups in the league. And that's a lineup that you could build around for the next 4, 5, 6 NBA seasons. Another player that I think could be on the horizon as a trade target for the Knicks at that center position is Kevon Looney. If you were watching this channel during the summer, Kevon Looney was someone I would have liked to see the Knicks pursue an NBA free agency. Thing is, Looney never got there. The Warriors, they picked up that team option, I believe, for about $8 million. And I still think he is someone they could look to trade. At 28 years old, still a lot of tread left on the tires, a little bit undersized, but what he lacks in the height department, he brings in the heart department. And this is a guy that you're not going to have to trade a lot for. This is a guy that you could throw in a playoff series and be a spot starter and do what you need him to do. Defend and attack the glass. Kevon Looney is one of the better rebounders in the NBA. He's got a lot of playoff experience. I believe a multi-time NBA champion with the Golden State Warriors. So he brings leadership, winning attitude, and a guy that's going to give you all grit, all grind, all the time. He's got to do the dirty work. And all you need out of the center for the Knicks right now, if you're going to have Mitchell Robinson be hurt, is attack the glass, play some defense. And Kevon Looney, he could do that. He even said he wants to shoot some threes this year. I don't know about all that, though. Another player that I think could be on the market when it comes to trade targets is veteran Steven Adams. And I'm not pushing for the Knicks to go out and trade for any of these guys. I'm just reading the room, and I'm looking across the NBA, and I'm talking about guys that I think could be on the move. And I think 31-year-old Steven Adams could be that guy. He missed the entire 2023-2024 season with a knee injury. But when you look at where the Rockets are and where Steven Adams is at his career, he's a prime trade candidate, a guy that they can move off of. Adams would give you heart. He'd give you size. He'd give you strength. He'd give you toughness. And he'd give you a player that would just bring some brute force to this team. He's going to rebound the hell out of the ball. He's going to protect the rim. He's going to play the passing lanes. Not going to give you much on offense. Plays out of that dunker spot. He's got that little hook shot. But if you're looking for a guy to come in and give you toughness, strength, size, and a veteran, I don't hate it. And I don't think you'd have to give up too much. Another player that I think could be on the move this year is Robert Williams. We've talked about him a couple of different times throughout the past couple of weeks on this channel. Look, like Robinson, if you can guarantee me that Robert Williams is going to be healthy, yes, I'm going to go make a trade for him. This is a guy that finished top 10 and Defensive Player of the Year back in 2021, 2022. He was second team all defense in that season. He is an elite defender, but he's also a guy that lives on the injury report. He has not played more than 65 games in an NBA season throughout his career, which is really the only reason, and really the only reason I need to have as to why I don't want to go trade for him. Look, if you promise me he's healthy, then yeah, I'll go do it. Because you're getting one of the best switch defenders in the league. You're getting a guy that's been in a second team all defense, and he's been an anchor to a team that I believe 2021, 2022, Smitty, got to the finals. But man, best ability sometimes is availability. And Robert Williams, he definitely lacks that. I love him as a player, all the way dating back to his days at Texas A&M. Kind of gave me Draymond Green vibes in that sense on defense. But if you can't play, I don't want you on this team. It's really tricky when you're talking about injured players. You got to roll the dice. Sometimes you got to hit. Will Leon Rose do it? I don't know. We've got more center trade targets in a second. But first, If you're looking for last-minute tickets to an NFL game this year, you want to go see your favorite band, concert, theater event, or stand-up comedian, or maybe you want to go to an NFL game, get your tickets at Game Time. You get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. Prices actually drop as the events get closer. So if you are a procrastinator like I am, Game Time is the ticketing app for you. I've used all the ticketing apps. None of them are as good as Game Time. It's easy to use, and I think we can all agree it's cool when you save money and you get to do what you want to do. And Game Time, they do that because you get last-minute tickets. The app will alert you when a flash deal is going on, and they make sure you get the lowest price guaranteed. And if you use our promo code, Chat Sports, you're going to get another $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. And if you use that all-in pricing feature, the price you see is the price you pay. And the Game Time picks, when you're downloading the app and after you create an account, you get to personalize the app with your favorite teams, your favorite bands, your favorite artists, your favorite comedians. And Game Time picks will filter out all the other stuff and make it very easy for you to buy tickets to go watch your favorite people do what they do. Knicks games, Giants games, Yankees games, Mets games, concerts, theater events, and so much more. Download the app, create an account, use the promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, and get $20 off your first purchase. What time is it? It is game time. Support the show, support the sponsor, be a real one. A player that a lot of Knicks fans have seemed to fallen in love with is Nick Richards. And I'm not going to come up here and say Nick Richards is a bad basketball player, but I'm also not going to come up here and say that if you trade for Nick Richards, you're going to win the NBA Finals like a lot of people think. You could win it if you trade for him, but he's not the needle mover for me. Look, 26 years old, solid player, but at the end of the day, like, much better does Nick Richards make you? I like the insurance he brings. I like the fact that he gives you another player that you can lean on if Mitchell Robinson gets hurt. But I just think there's better players that the Knicks can go out and get. Richards, prototypical center, not going to operate too much outside of the dunker spot on offense. Can protect the rim at a solid level, 1.1 blocks per game over the last 2 years. Got a really high field goal percentage because he doesn't really do much. Solid player. I wouldn't hate it, but I'm not giving up any assets or anything of real value to go out and get a deal done for Mr. Richards. Dwight Powell is another center that I think could be on the move this year. Seems like the time is ticking on him being a Dallas Maverick. And we can keep this one here pretty quick. I have no interest in trading for Dwight Powell. As I do live in Dallas, Texas, I've gotten to watch a lot of Dallas Mavericks basketball, and I'm just not moved by Dwight Powell. I'm not sure exactly what he does well except for play really hard, and that may be something that Tom Thibodeau loves. That is something that Tom Thibodeau loves. But for me, like Nick Richards, I'm not giving up anything of value for Dwight Powell, the 33-year-old center. Goga Bitadze is another name that I think could be on the move. I know that he just re-signed with the Orlando Magic, but with the way that the Orlando Magic have stacked the deck at that center position, he could be on the move. They're paying Wendell Carter. They just gave Wagner a big deal, and they gave Bitadze a solid deal as well, and they have more than $32 million this year tied up in the center position. And I'm just not sure if that's the best way to run a basketball team in 2024-2025. I love Goga Bitadze, man. He was the guy that I was pushing for the Knicks to get on the veteran, the taxpayer mid-level exception. I'm not saying he's Isaiah Hartenstein, but he possesses some of the skills that he does. An underrated playmaker. Grit, grind, nice little touch around the rim, and he's super strong, super physical, and you feel his presence on the court. I'm not sure what it would cost to get him in a trade, but he signed a deal for around $9 million. So I think the Magic would want something of value back, maybe a Chua, and you throw in a guy like Keita Bates-Diop, and you add a handful of second-round picks. Bitadze is definitely someone that I would like to see the Knicks go after as a backup big. Another name to monitor is Jonas Valanciunas. He can't be traded until mid-December because he did leave the New Orleans Pelicans to go join the Washington Wizards. He makes about $9.9 million this year. Valanciunas is high on my list of center trade targets. I love the combination of Robinson and Valanciunas as my two centers because it gives you lineup versatility. You want to play defense, you want to play big, you want to rebound, throw out Mitch. You want to play an offensive style of game. You want to throw out a big who could stretch the floor a little bit. be a threat with his back to the basket, has a little push shot, can operate than more on offense than just dunker spot. Jonas Valanciunas is really good for that. So I wouldn't mind. And I actually think Jonas Valanciunas, of all the players we talked about, is closer to the top of the list than a couple of these other guys. I'm not saying that I want to trade for all of these guys. I'm just looking across the NBA, and I found 8 players that the Knicks could potentially monitor. Name a center you want the Knicks to trade for, putting you on the spot. And make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG, @MarshallGreen_. Both handle on both. Hit me up over there, and let's talk some New York Knicks. 260 people in the building. Shout out to the real ones. That's brutal. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon. We're at 140 likes. Can we get 200 likes right now? Smitty's dying in the studio. He needs 200 likes. Oh, Lordy. If you haven't yet, hit the thumbs up icon. Smitty, how are we looking on questions? Are we lighting the question department? Are we feeling good about the questions? Do we got to add some more questions? How are we looking?
We're a little light.
We're a little light on the questions. So please, I am asking, if you want us to do a mailbag where we answer your questions, we need you to go down in the comment section, ask your question, and include #Knicks. Also, every super chat that comes in that is Knicks applicable, we're going to answer that question on the mailbag. So if you want to skip the line, you go ahead, super chat. If not, just go down in the comments, ask a question. You want to do this, you want to do that, we want to trade for this, we want to trade for that. Marshall, what do you think of this? What are we going to do? Any question, thought, comment, take. Drop it in the comment section. Just include #Knicks so we can put it up on the screen. Breeze World says, you tripping. What am I tripping on, Breeze? What am I tripping on, Breeze? Breezy. Eduardo says, give me Wilt Chamberlain. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be cool. That'd be super cool. Breeze. Breeze. He says, not about you. It was someone else. Gotcha. You keep me accountable, though, Breeze, and that's why you're my guy. Levi's the best. Just put a question in. Winston Shea just put a question in. Eduardo says, I want Sengun. We love Sengun. Can't believe we almost peaked at 300. That was crazy. You just lose them all? How does that happen? Can't do a mailbag. So we just can't get any of them back? Three. Oh my God. I don't know what to do then. Kenya, my dog, what up? Terrence Newman, what up?
Kenya, get a question in for the mailbag.
Our software just lost all of our questions. So if you asked a question, can you ask it again?
It'd be so nice if you do that.
That's ridiculous.
I'm so sorry that's the case.
Just call me Nitro says, please stop with the Randle trade rumors. Just call me Nitro. If they're talking about it on ESPN, I'm going to talk about it on this channel. If you have a problem with it, you don't have to watch. My job is to talk about the latest news and rumors that surround this team. If they're talking about it on ESPN, I'm going to talk about it on this show. If you don't like it, there's plenty of other Knicks content creators that are also talking about the same thing. Go watch over there. Like, come on, guys. Like, what? It's sports talk radio. We talk about trending topics.
That's what it is, man.
Like,
and you guys act like it's September. There's nothing going on.
I don't understand how you can be mad that I'm talking about a subject that Brian Windhorst talks about, Stephen A. Smith talks about, even the guys that you would consider non-clickbait guys. Zach Lowe, Bobby Marks. They just talked about it for 45 minutes. They literally have a video on their channel called Fake Julius Randle Trades. And if you want the Randle trade rumors to stop, tell Randle to sign the extension. If Randle signs the extension, he can't be traded. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at your sweet prince. So what happens if you get your questions in? What happens if you take the filter off? Like, what if you duplicate a layer, take the filter off, and maybe if we get low throughout this mailbag, you just throw some ones that don't have hashtag Knicks on it. See what I'm saying? Look, guys, I understand you love Julius Randle. But if the national media is talking about trading him, I'm going to give my take on that. I just went through 7 trades for Julius Randle. I said I wouldn't do it. Like, just because I'm talking about it doesn't mean I'm always going to do it. But I think that's sometimes too hard to comprehend for people. All right, let's roll into this. Last chance. Hashtag Knicks in the comments or super chat to guarantee your spot. What's up, Creed? It's my dog right there. What's good, Creed? Yeah, if we find a way to get Anthony Davis, Creed, it's cooked. The league is cooked. They are fried. Yeah, I'm fried. Yeah, I'm fried. All righty. Let's do it. Yo! What's going on, everybody? You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. We got a mailbag coming up on today's show. Just getting back to the roots of this channel, interacting with the audience, answering your questions from our live show. So if you didn't get your question answered on today's show, it means you're not subscribed. You don't have your notifications turned on because you didn't join us when we went live on Tuesday. Change that right now. Hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications to all. That way you never miss a time where we go live, put out a video, or do anything on this channel. My first question coming in from Johnny. What's up, Johnny? Appreciate you hanging out with us. Says, who would be your number one dream center to get on this Knicks team? What would it take to get them? Definitely unrealistic, but we all know how good Leon Rose and the team are. So I'm going to approach this question, Johnny, as my dream realistic trade target. I like to live in real world, not La La Land. I know we do a lot of rumors on this show. A lot of rumors we talked about have come true, but I want to keep it realistic. My dream trade target that I think is realistic is Wendell Carter of the Orlando Magic. I think that Carter is a guy that skilled on offense, underrated on defense, and he fits this team really well. And he's a guy that I think the Orlando Magic could move on from. They paid Wagner. They paid Bitadze. We've heard some noise coming out of Orlando that they're maybe looking to trade a center. So my dream realistic trade guy is Wendell Carter. Reminds me of a young Al Horford. I don't think he's as skilled as Al Horford. I don't think he gives you as much on defense as Al Horford. But he's like the little brother of Al Horford. Same game, just not as good. I'll take that on my team any day of the week. If Wendell Carter's your 5th best starter, you're in a really good spot. Rashidi Aikens, my brother. What's good, bro? Who do you think earns the backup point guard position? Deuce, Camp, or Tyler? We're assuming Tom plays 9. I think to start the season, Rashidi, we're going to see Campaign be the first point guard off the bench for the New York Knicks. And I'm honestly looking at this team with Deuce McBride as an off-ball guard. Deuce McBride is the height of a point guard. But Deuce McBride does not possess the skills of a point guard, in my opinion. After watching every single game of the Knicks for the last 2 seasons, I just don't think Deuce is a point guard. And I don't remember if it was Bagley or Fred Katz So I apologize. But they pretty much said in an article recently that the Knicks view Deuce McBride as an off-ball guard. I think Cam Payne starts the season as the backup point guard. And I think Tyler Kolk will have an opportunity to take that job from him. But I also could see Tom Thibodeau leaning on a veteran like Cam Payne in the playoffs at that backup point guard spot. They went out and added him for a reason. I think he's going to play. I like Kolk. I like the future of Kolk. If you watch Taylor, you know how I feel about him. I think he's going to be better in the NBA with real talent around him, with more of a reduced role and a more defined role. But I'm going to roll with Cam Payne probably as that backup point guard this year. Creed, my dog. What's up, bro? Here's a hot take for you. Let's do it. Randle is only loved in the offseason. During the regular season, when he makes stupid plays, everyone will go back to hating him. I fixed this for you. Randle is only loved in the offseason and in the regular season, but during the playoffs, when he makes stupid plays, everyone goes back to hating him. Look, I'm very critical of Julius Randle because he's one of the most talented players in the NBA. He's one of the most skilled players in the NBA. And it feels like at times he gets in the way of himself. And I'll always say it, man. If regular season Randle, if 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA player, 25, 10, and 5, 45 from the deck, 35 from 3. If that Julius Randle shows up in the playoffs, the New York Knicks will win an NBA championship. They will be NBA champions. I just don't know if he will because he's been in 3 series and just hasn't done it yet. For whatever the reason is, injuries, lack of talent around him. I'll let you guys decide that. Michael Dollar, holla, says wait until a center is released when the season begins. It's not really like that, though. Like, it's not the NFL where you have to cut down from 90 to 53. Maybe you mean the buyout market. That is a spot where the Knicks could go get a center, right? You get past the NBA trade deadline. People cut players, cut veterans so they can go play for a winning team. They buy out their contracts. Yeah, maybe you look to the buyout market, but no team is going to cut a good center before the season starts or when the season begins. So I just don't see that really happening all that much. We'll get to more questions in a second, but I want to hear from you in the chat. The odds makers out west, Las Vegas, has the win total for the New York Knicks set at 53.5. Over, under. What's your projection on Knicks wins this season? Anapa, $5 super chat. Thank you. I hope I said that right. I know I did not, so I apologize. Says, just got here. Thanks for tuning in. So do you think the Knicks will make another move for a center, and if so, who? I do think the Knicks at some point this season are going to make a trade for a center. Leon Rose knows they need to make a trade for a center. Everyone inside that building knows they need to make a trade for a center. We did a video recently on the channel of 7 centers that the New York Knicks can trade for. I'll just run these off here real quick. I think some centers to keep your eye on for the season include Jalen Duren, Kevon Looney, Steven Adams, Robert Williams, Nick Richards, Dwight Powell, Goga Bitadze, Jonas Valanciunas, and maybe a guy like Wendell Carter. Those are all names to monitor. I'm not sure a blockbuster trade is coming for a center, but you never know with Leon Rose. He's always got a trick up his sleeve. Make sure you guys are hooked up with our T-shirts here at Chat Sports. Everyone's like, Marsh, we want merch. Well, the boss has told me if we want to do more merch, we got to have more people buy merch, which, stupid bosses, right? Chatsports.com/realknicks. We got a blue shirt. We got a black shirt. If you classify yourself as a real one, you classify yourself as a die-hard Knicks fan, get your shirt today. Chatsports.com/realknicks. That is chatsports.com/realknicks. Winston Shea, great name, bro. What's up, homie? His thoughts on Randle playing center. I don't like Julius Randle being the starting center. I don't mind Julius Randle playing center 8 minutes a game with maybe as a closing lineup, maybe with the backups, spacing out the floor a little bit, opening up the paint, 5 threats to score anytime they touch the pill. There's been a lot of talk this offseason that the Knicks are going to maybe use Julius Randle as a center at points. I'll believe it when I see it. Because Tom Thibodeau out of his center, he wants rim protection, and he wants rebounding. And while Randle is a good rebounder, he's not a rim protector. Tibbs puts a lot of defensive responsibility on his centers. I will believe it when I see it. I think it's a good idea, but I'll believe it when I see it. Levi's the best. What's up, fam? Do you think it's realistic to actually get Kessler knowing our limit? I do think it's realistic. You're probably gonna have to trade someone you don't want. Cough, cough, Deuce McBride, Precious Achua, couple of second-round picks. But yeah, I do think it is realistic. I don't think too much. I don't think it's going to cost too much to get Walker Kessler. I was watching a Jazz YouTuber's video, and he thinks Achua and a first-round pick, one of the protected ones, would get it done. I don't love trading a first-round pick because you only got 2 tradable right now, but those first-round picks are kind of fake at this point that you're getting from Washington, that you're getting from Detroit. So I don't hate it. I think it is more than realistic that Walker Kessler could be a Knick. Mike G. MG, best initials in the game. What's up, bro? My guy for life. How you doing? Just trying to make it day by day after that Giants game, man. I'm ready for Knicks season. Is it possible the Knicks can take on the Celtics this year at full strength? Appreciate you on both channels. Appreciate you on both channels, man. I do. I really do. And am I biased? Yes. Am I a homer? Yes. But am I also a realist person? I try my best. I think if you asked any Boston Celtics fan and you put them on a lie detector test, they would tell you their biggest fear in the East is the Knicks, and their biggest fear in the NBA might just be the Knicks. Look, if you're healthy and you roll into the playoffs with Brunson, Bridges, OG, Randle, Robinson, Hart, DiVincenzo, McBride, and Achua, you roll in with a healthy 9, you got as good as a shot as anybody in this league to beat the Celtics. I really, really do believe that. Levi's the best. Back again. Because if we trade for a guy like Goga, Looney, is that much of an upgrade over Precious? Who would we beat out? The reason I would say it's an upgrade over Precious is because they are actual centers. Precious Achua is a 4. He's a 6'7", 6'8" power forward. He said he's a power forward. He is. How much of an upgrade? I think big enough to make the trade. I think Goga is more of an upgrade than Looney. If I had to power rank these, I'd go Bitadze, Looney, and then Precious. But I'd be cool with Looney or Bitadze. I really, really would. I like the championship pedigree that Looney's got too, man. Been there, done that, been around greats, won championships. 3. 1, 2, 3. Looney, 3-time champ. How many times in the playoffs did we see Looney clean up the boards? 15 rebounds, 16 rebounds, 17 rebounds. He's only 28 years old. I would love Kevon. I might actually want Looney over Bitadze. I might just talk myself into that. That's how quick I do it. Make sure you are following me over on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Knicks. Shout out to everybody in the building. We appreciate you guys. Over 2,500 people have tuned in today. We've been over 220 pretty much the entire show. I was worried about going live today, thinking people didn't want to tune in. You guys showed up. You always show love, man. That's major love. We are going to bounce on out of here. We've been live for an hour and a half. I got to go do some more work at the office before I go to the crib. I just want to say major love to you guys. I love this shit, man. I love you guys. We are less than a month away from preseason, a little over a month away from the regular season. I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it, man. This team's special. It really, really is. You deserve it. We deserve it. Let's go, Knicks. We'll be back soon. See y'all later.